The old house stood alone, shrouded in whispers. Locals told tales, their voices hushed, eyes wide with fear. A haunted place, they'd say, best left undisturbed. But Daniel, young and foolish, felt a pull, a magnetic draw towards the unknown. The whispers called to him, piqued his curiosity, challenged his skepticism. "Just silly stories," he muttered, approaching the house. Its silhouette loomed against the twilight sky, a jagged, broken tooth against the dying light. A shiver ran down his spine as he pushed open the creaking gate. It groaned like a weary sigh, a warning lost to the wind. Fog, thick and white as bone, crept in, blanketing the world in an eerie silence. It clung to the house like spectral cobwebs, obscuring its already blurred edges. Daniel's breath caught in his throat, forming wispy plumes in the cold air. He laughed nervously, the sound swallowed by the dense fog. "Just a bit of fog," he mumbled, trying to convince himself, but the whispers, carried on the wind, seemed to mock his bravado. He reached for the rusted doorknob, the metal cold and damp beneath his touch. It turned with a grating sound as if unused for decades. The heavy oak door creaked inward, revealing a yawning abyss of darkness. The air inside was stale and cold, thick with the scent of decay. Dust motes danced in the faint sliver of moonlight that pierced the gloom. Swallowing his fear, Daniel stepped inside. The floorboards groaned under his weight, each step a drumbeat in the oppressive silence. His hand trembled as he flicked on his flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness like a knife. Cobwebs hung heavy, shimmering like ghostly shrouds in the artificial light. His gaze fell upon a narrow staircase leading down into the bowels of the house. The whispers seemed louder here, closer, urging him towards the darkness below. The basement stairs creaked in protest as Daniel descended. Each step sent shivers up his spine. The air grew colder, heavy with a palpable sense of dread. The beam of his flashlight danced across the dank stone walls, revealing patches of mold and strange, glowing symbols etched into the stone. He paused, heart pounding. The symbols seemed to pulsate in the darkness, their glow growing stronger. They were unfamiliar, ancient, sending a chill down his spine that had nothing to do with the cold. A low whisper, barely audible, brushed against his ear. He spun around, flashlight beam slashing through the darkness. There was nothing there, but the whisper lingered, a ghostly echo in the silence. Deeper into the basement he ventured, each step fraught with growing terror. The air grew thick, making it hard to breathe, and then he saw them. 2 points of crimson light, like malevolent embers burning in the darkness. He froze, his blood turning to ice. The eyes stared back, unwavering, filled with an ancient malice. Panic welled in his chest, choking him. He stumbled back, his foot catching on a loose stone. His flashlight clattered to the ground, plunging him into absolute darkness. The red eyes seemed to float closer, their malevolent glow intensifying. A wave of dizziness washed over him. His last conscious thought was a desperate plea for escape. He awoke with a gasp, his head throbbing. He lay at the foot of the basement stairs, his flashlight a few feet away. Shakily he picked it up, his hand trembling. Had he imagined it? Those eyes, the suffocating fear. He tried to recall how he'd gotten back up the stairs, but his mind was blank. Panic surged through him once more. He scrambled towards the basement door, his breath coming in ragged gasps. But the door wouldn't budge. It was locked, bolted from the outside. A cold dread settled in his stomach. He was trapped. He rattled the doorknob, kicked at the heavy wood, but it was no use. He was a prisoner in this house of shadows. Exhausted, he sank to the floor, his back against the cold stone wall. And that's when he saw it. A shard of broken glass lay on the floor, reflecting his image back at him in the dim light. But it wasn't his face staring back. It was his face, yes, but twisted, contorted into an expression of pure terror, and etched onto his forehead, glowing faintly, was one of the symbols from the wall. He was marked. The whispers started again, this time surrounding him, their voices laced with a chilling amusement. They were not whispers of warning, he realized, but whispers of welcome. He belonged to the house now, another lost soul claimed by the darkness, and he knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, he would never escape. Not now. Not ever.